Hello students, in last video we have seen social engineering, classification of social engineering. Okay, next we will see cyber stalking. Stalking means it is an act or process of following a victim silently or trying to approach somebody or something silently. Cyberstalking is defined as the use of information and communications technology, particularly the internet, by an individual or a group of individuals to harass another individual or a group of individuals. Okay, what they will do here, cyberstalkers, they will use the information and communication technologies like internet, and they will harass the individuals, another individuals or a group of individuals. Cyber stalking also refers, in short, okay, to use the internet and or other electronic communication devices to stalk another person. Cyber stalking involves harassing or a threatening behavior that an individual will conduct repeatedly. For example, following a person, visiting a person's home again and or at his business place, making a phone calls repeatedly. Okay, cyber stalkers always have these kind of behaviors and they are going to harass them. The next is types of stalkers. There are primarily two types of stalkers. The first one is online stalker, the second one is offline stalker. The aim of online stalkers is to start interaction with the victim directly with the help of internet. They may use emails or chat rooms to make a interaction with the victim. Here, the stalker makes sure that the victim recognizes the attack attempted on him or her. Then, stalker can make use of third party to harass the victim. First, he will make sure the victim is recognized his attack. Then, he starts making harassment by using a third party. The second type of stalker is offline stalker. Here, stalker begin the attack by using traditional methods such as following a victim, watching a daily routine of that victim, etc. Okay, he may get the information by searching in a news groups, personal websites. These are the most common ways to gather the information about a victim using a internet. The victim is not aware of this, okay, but the victim is not aware of this. The stalker can attack on him easily by using this kind of information. The next is what kind of cases are reported in a cyber stalking. The majority of cyber stalkers are men and the majority of their victims are women. In many cases, the cyber stalker is ex-lover or an ex-spouse, boss or subordinate, and a neighbor. There also have been cases about strangers who are cyber stalkers. Okay, in many cases, the cyber stalkers are ex-lover, ex-spouse, or a boss or a neighbor, sometimes strangers. The next is how the cyber stalkers commit an attack or how cyber stalking or stalking works. It has following ways. First, personal information gathering about the victim like name, cell phone number, email ID, address of a residence. Next, establish a contact with the victim through telephone or a cell phone. Once the contact is established, the stalker may make calls to victims to harass them repeatedly. Next is stalkers always establish a contact with the victim through email also. Okay. Some stalkers keep on sending repeated emails asking for a various favors or a threaten a victim. Okay, sometimes they will send a repeated emails asking for some various favors like help. Okay, they may ask sometimes a help and they will threaten a victim. The stalkers may post the victim's personal information as a sex worker service or a dating service. Okay, in a sex worker service website or a dating service website, they may put the victim's personal information, okay, as a sex worker or a dating worker. The stalker will use bad or attractive language to invite the interested persons. Whoever comes across the information, they will start calling the victim and asking for a sexual services or a relationship. Some stalkers subscribe the email account of the victim to innumerable pornographic or a sex sites. The next they have given is one real incident happened in Delhi, okay, regarding cyber stalking. The Indian police have registered first case of cyber stalking in Delhi. About that case they have mentioned here. A person called Mrs. Joshi received almost 40 calls in 3 days, mostly in odd hours. Odd hours means at midnight or early in the morning, like that, from Kuwait, Cochin and Bombay. These calls are created confusions in personal life by destroying her mental peace. So, Mrs. Joshi decided to register complaint with the Delhi police. What the attacker actually doing was using her ID to chat over the internet at the website called www.mirac.com for 4 consecutive days. The attacker was chatting on the internet by using her name and giving her telephone number to other chatters and encouraging them to call to Mrs. Joshi at odd hours. Okay, this was the first cyber stalking case registered in Delhi. Next we will see about some cyber cafes and cyber crimes. In February 2009 survey, 90% of the audience across 8 cities and 3,500 cafes were male and in the age group of 15 to 35 years. Okay, 90% of audience across the 8 cities and in 3,500 cafes, the audience are male and their age was in between 15 to 35 years. In that, 52% were graduates and postgraduates and almost 50% were students. In India, cyber cafes are known to be used for either real or false terrorist communication. So, cyber cafe hold 2 types of risk. The first one is we do not know about what programs are installed in our computer like keyloggers or spyware. The second one is over a shoulder peeping can enable others to find out your passwords. We can call this as a shoulder surfing. Okay. Cyber criminals prefer cyber cafes to carry out their activities. Okay, who don't have internet in their home, they always prefer cyber cafes to carry out their activities. In recent survey conducted in one of the metropolitan cities in India, it reveals the following facts. The first one is pirated softwares such as operating system, browser or MS Office are installed on most of the computers in a cyber cafe. Second one is antivirus was not updated with the latest patch. In several cyber cafes had installed the software called Deep Freeze for protecting their computers from malware attacks. But this software helps lot for cyber criminals. Why? Because defreeze software can wipe out all the details or all the activities carried out on the computer once we restart the system. So these practices presenting a very powerful challenges to police or a cybercrime investigators. Okay, when we visit the cyber cafes, okay, these kind of defreeze softwares, okay, these kind of softwares posing an many challenges to police or a cybercrime investigators when they visit a cyber cafes. These cyber cafes IP addresses are registered on the internet service provider points, so that police can easily attack on the cyber cafes where the online phishing attack was carried out. But by using these kind of softwares, they are not getting any clues in a cyber cafes. Annual maintenance contract, that is AMC, was not found for servicing of the computer. Okay, AMC is like a contract where formatting of a system, hard disks and systems are maintained regularly. So we need to service the computer properly, otherwise it will be risk from cybercrime perspective, because cyber criminals can install malicious software or codes on a computer and conduct a cyber criminal activities. The next is pornographic websites were not blocked there. Cyber cafe owners have very less awareness about the IT security. Cyber cafe association or a state police do not seem to conduct periodic visits to cyber cafes. Okay, the recent survey reveals these all the facts. So we have to take some security tips or a safety tips while using the computers in a cyber cafe. The first one is always log out. While checking our emails or in other accounts which requires a username and password, always click on log out or a sign out before you leaving the system. The second one is stay with the computer. While browsing on the internet, should not leave the system until your browse completed. Otherwise, if one has to go out, log out and close all the browser windows, then go out. Otherwise, they will take some cyber criminals will take some information related to your browsing history. The third one is clear history or a temporary files. Internet Explorer or other browsers saves the pages that you have visited in a history folder and a temporary internet files folder. Your passwords are also stored in browsers if that option has been enabled on computers. So always clear the history and temporary files. Be alert when we are browsing in a public places. There may be chances of shoulder surfing to get the username and password. Try to avoid online financial transactions in public cyber cafes because these require to enter your personal information, confidential and sensitive information like account number, credit card number and so on. So please try to avoid these kind of online transactions. In case of urgency, one has to change the password as soon as possible after doing their work. Change the passwords regularly. It is the best practice. Okay. The banking websites always give virtual keyboards to enter a password. Okay, to avoid some risk and all. The next is security warnings. One should take care of while accessing the websites about the security warnings and should be followed while accessing the financial accounts from cyber cafes. Okay. We have to follow the rules and regulations and security warnings of bank or a financial institutions while carrying out online transactions and all. This is the example of or a main page of ICICI Bank website. Okay, at first only they have given important security notice. ICICI Bank does not ask you for any personal information other than your user ID and password when you log into www.icicbank.com. Okay, we need to follow these kind of rules whichever given in a banking website. And for password they have given virtual keyboard. Okay, at right side you are seeing virtual keyboard now. For typing that kind password we need to use this kind of virtual keyboard. We can use external keyboard also, but recommended is virtual keyboard. Okay, this is the example. Thank you.